I've just gotten back from a networking event for coaches, bloggers, aspiring influencers, entrepreneurs, and the organisers had asked me to do a short presentation on personal branding. I came up with the 10 questions for personal brands because the ultimate question, of course, is, are you a personal brand or are you just a person with branding? The presentation went down so well with the audience that I thought I'd make it into a video for you. So now here are the 10 questions in no particular order for personal brands. So you can ask yourself, am I a personal brand or am I just a person with branding? So my name is Valerie Ellis and I'm a personal brand consultant. I've got qualifications in psychology, business and design, and I use it to help people in personal brand businesses. My brand is Personal Brandsformation, and I created the brand bridge because your brand is a bridge between you and your audience. So question 1, what's your core concept? This question was prompted by meeting a lady at a networking event who wouldn't or couldn't explain to me exactly what she did. And I said to her, but how do you get clients if you can't explain what you do? And she said, people follow people, or people buy people. And I immediately intuitively thought, no. And then I went to think, well, what is the truth then? If people don't buy people, what is it that she's getting at? And why is that idea so popular? And I think it's because there's a little bit missing. The truth is, people buy people who stand for something. You have to have a core concept in your personal brand so that people can choose to follow you because you have something to believe in. As lovely as you are, no doubt, people aren't going to follow you just for the sake of you. They're going to follow you because you have a certain quality to the way you are as a person. And people follow people who are passionate about an idea. So are you clear about what the core concept is for your brand? In my brand bridge system, I call it the principle. What's the principle that you stand for? So this is an important question for you. If you can't answer this question, then I would argue you don't have a personal brand. You are just a person with branding. Next question, what's the need you are satisfying? So a brand is oriented towards its audience. Audiences are people and people have needs. And audiences follow you because you're satisfying a need in them. Now, you may be accidentally doing that, but it's going to be a lot more effective if you can actually clarify and understand what need it is that you're meeting in your audience. So can you articulate in one word, maybe 2, maybe 3, what the need is you meet for your audience? And if you can, then next question, is that need coming through in your brand messaging? So if you can clarify that, go back to your blog posts, go back to your email marketing, go back to your social media posts, go have a look at your flyers, even your printed material. Would somebody looking at your messaging know that you fulfill need X, the need that you fulfill for your audience? So check that. What's the next question? Are you on your website banner? I am amazed that still I go to people's websites and they're hiding. They are not on the banner. If you are a personal brand, people are interested in you. That's the personal part of the brand. So you must be on your website banner. Now, I sympathize. I am completely devastated that I don't look like Christy Turlington either. So it's a shame we're not all supermodels, but we need to get over that, and we need to understand that if we can go out in the world, drive around in a car, go to the supermarket and do shopping with the head that we have, with the body that we have, and we can get through the day like that, that people can handle seeing us on our website banner, even if we can't. The website banner isn't for you. it's for your visitors. So do your very best, hire a professional photographer if you have to, hire a makeup artist and a hair designer if you have to, but get yourself on your website banner if you're not. I am amazed at how few people still are on their website banner, and it's mostly because they don't like what they look like. We're going to have to work on that. Work on that, get on your website banner, get fantastic images of you. Next question, is your Zoom background rubbish? Now, this question came from my personal experience as well. I was in a Zoom meeting. I had a particularly unique background that I was sitting in, and a lady contacted me after that online Zoom networking meeting, and she said, I saw your background and I had to reach out to you. Now, I would not have thought either that my Zoom background would make such a big difference. We hadn't even met in the Zoom meeting. I'd connected with other people, but she had only seen me on the screen. The Zoom background had such an impression on her that she reached out to me. Is your Zoom background rubbish? I am staggered at how many people's backgrounds are bookcases full of rubbish, are pictures on walls that are wonky, things that have nothing to do with who they are. Find a space in your house, a wall that you can make neat and tidy at the very least, and make sure that your Zoom background looks great, that it isn't rubbish, because it will put people off. Trust me. Just because everyone else on the Zoom meeting has a rubbish background doesn't mean you have to jump off that bridge as well. You know what I mean. Don't lower your standards, keep them high, get rid of a rubbish Zoom background. And more to that, if you can get that minimum done, I'm going to ask you this question. Is your Zoom background branded? Yes, take it up to the next level. You can go to the extent of branding your background. Could you just get a can of paint and paint a wall in your office your brand color? That would have such a massive impact on people watching you. Could you hang a painting behind you that has your colors? At least if you're about gardening, put plants in the background. If you're about sport, hang things on the wall like rackets and things that make your background in Zoom branded. But take it up a notch and brand your Zoom background for Zoom networking meetings, and it will have an impact, I promise you. Next question. Are you amplified? So in my brand bridge system, it starts with personality. People follow people who stand for something, and those people tend to have an amplified quality about them. They're passionate about the thing that they stand for. There's something about their personality that gives them a stronger, more extreme version of themselves. These are not ordinary people. They are an amplified version of themselves. So when I do a brand bridge system for somebody, we start with a personality analysis, because I'm looking for some key qualities about the person that we can amplify, that will make that person stand out from the crowd and other people pay attention to them, because people want your strongest quality in their life. I'll say that again. People want your strongest quality in their life. Now, I know that you've been thinking you need to moderate your strongest quality. Somebody in the past didn't like your strongest quality. They criticized it. It might have been a parent, a teacher, a lover, a friend, an enemy. But somebody made your strongest quality into a bad quality, and that needs to stop now. Your strongest quality is a strength, and you need to amplify it so that you stand out from the crowd and people can lean on you for that quality. Now, let me say one more thing about that. That doesn't mean you have to be the loudest person. That doesn't have to mean you're the most qualified, that you're the most beautiful, that you're the life and soul of the party. No. Think of some of the influencers that you know who are very quiet, very soft-spoken. There are meditation teachers, there are gurus, there are yoga teachers who are very, very softly spoken and have many, many people following them, many, many people who are influenced by them. So their softness is what they've amplified. So don't worry about what the quality is, but amp it up so that you get attention. Next question. Where's your weak point? So this is the opposite of that. When you're strong at something, you are weak at the opposite, and that's fine. You cannot be charismatic and also soft and gentle and welcoming. You can't be tall and short. You can't be wise and clever and calming, but also the most exciting life and soul of the party. So you need to also understand your weak point. For many people, that's things like administration in their business. For some people, it might be creativity in their business and quickly pivoting to trends. For some people, it might be being so gregarious, so concerned with what other people think, that they haven't figured out what they think and what they stand for. So figure out what your weak point is and make sure that you're compensating for that somehow. Get some advice on that. Next question. Do you know your market's turnoffs? So I've seen people do a great job of their presence, how their public image is presented, and then they will do something which puts their audience off. And you need to know what your market's turnoffs are. You need to know what is going to make them withdraw from you. And you need to avoid doing that. It's important to stick in your lane, deliver what it is that your audience is looking for, and be very, very careful not to offend them, because as you know, it takes a long time to build up an audience, but it's very quick to turn them off. So have a little think about that. Maybe interview some of the people in your audience, some of your clients. Figure out what would upset them, bother them, what would diminish you in their eyes, and make sure that you eliminate that from your brand. What's the next question? Can you prune some dead wood? So I remember working with a client who had worked for many years to try to build an audience. And in doing so, she'd done lots and lots and lots of different things, which is understandable. We're looking for the thing that gets attention on our brand. However, her website had become clogged up with lots and lots of different offerings and pages and ideas and double ups and an excessive amount of explanation. And it made it hard to see her clearly. You need to prune away the dead wood so that people can see you very clearly. This question came to me after there was a major storm in the area where I'm living in England, and there were trees on the road, and it was really sad to see branches ripped down and big, enormous trees pulled over by the wind. And I thought, well, hang on a minute, there must be a reason for this. There must be an evolutionary advantage to this happening. And what it means is that when a big storm comes through, it takes out the weak stuff. It takes out the old stuff. So what's the weak stuff? What's the old stuff in your brand? What are offerings that are no longer there? What are pages on website you can get rid of? What are social media posts you can delete? What are blog posts that aren't on brand for you? Get rid of the dead wood. Clarity is so important with a personal brand. Don't mess up your clear message, the principle that you stand for, with things around the edges that confuse your audience or don't relate to your audience anymore. Perhaps they did, maybe they don't anymore. Get rid of that stuff so that only the strong stuff survives, only the strong message is there, only the strong principle that you stand for is clear in who you are, and people will gravitate to that nice, clean clarity in what you do. It also means you don't have to deal with a lot of this stuff in your life. So go through and prune out the dead wood from your brand. That would be super useful for you. So this is Some of the information that I do with my brand bridge process with clients, some of the questions I ask, some of the issues we confront, some of the tasks that I complete for people, so that they have a strong bridge, because your brand is a bridge between you and your audience, and you need to make it nice and strong and easy for them to travel over. I'm developing a longer video that's about brand building. I'm going to cover some of the information about branding, about the foundations of it, where it comes from, what it's all about, so that you have a better understanding. So you're not confusing things like your logo, your business card, your website banner, your tagline, and that kind of thing with your brand. A brand is so much more than that. So I will see you in that next video on brand building, which is completely free to you, no obligation, no sign-ups, nothing like that. Learn more about brand building so you can build your brand bridge and have your own personal transformation.